Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Hopefully, I'll get this out Sunday. Hope you're having a great weekend. And if you get it Monday, hopefully, you had a great weekend. Real active one in my house. My younger daughter had a soccer tournament, which they typically, their club teams don't play in the spring because of high school. My daughter's a young '07, so she plays middle school soccer for her team, which has been done now for a little while. So club got back together, played a tournament, and they won the tournament this weekend, which is good. Small tournament, small pool, but still pretty cool. Won all their games and didn't give up a goal, so we're excited about that. So hopefully you guys had some cool ways to celebrate your weekend. And this little short podcast. Hopefully only 7 minutes, but now that I've burned a minute and a half of small talk, it might be 10. Really, the idea of it's just business is one of the worst ideas that is known to man. And I've had it said to me a number of times over the years, and every single time I just abhor it. I think it's the worst thing ever. If you don't conduct yourself the way you conduct yourself in all areas of your life, right, the way you want to conduct yourself, then that's not really you. Like if you're willing to do something and say, oh, it's just business, then you have a character flaw in my mind. And I don't want to do anything with you. Your opinion still matters in the court of the law, of the vote, etc. But man, I'm not going to be begging for time with you. I don't want to spend time around you. I don't want to do anything with you because you're willing to carry something into your relationship that it should be a cloud that impacts you, and you're willing to carry that in and just forget about it. And I don't believe in that. And so the reason why I thought it was important to talk about this is because in an election, oh my gosh, the reason I'm involved with this, I think I've shared this before. I've had people approach me over the last year and a half and say, hey, I think you need to be involved with the school board. And I kind of poo-pooed it and finally started digging in more and more and more, and more people approached. And by the time it got to the end, where we're pretty much right before the qualifying opportunity to go into the campaign was almost gone, I said, you know what, I'm going to jump in. And I wasn't too sure still. I thought, well, let me do some due diligence. And in it, the reason why I was looked at was because I tend to be a non-emotional person when it comes to arguing points. Now you can tell, obviously, I'm passionate. I get up, yell, but I don't bring an emotion because it's easy. It's easy to get offended because we're emotional, and when you get offended because you're emotional, you're not allowing yourself an opportunity to decide for certain if you are right or if you are wrong. And I'll say over COVID, I was very, very outspoken. I was very positive and confident in my opinion, my decisions that I made, the words that I spoke, and I put them all out in video and tons of posts. And I was wrong a couple of times, maybe more than a couple, but like a big couple of times. And I left those out there, and I was like, okay, I made a mistake there. That's big enough to know that it's a good opportunity for me to learn and become better for the next time. So in politics, I'll tell you, man, it's so crazy. So we have to be who we are no matter what. So in the Board of Education is a tough one because the people who come with opinion are going to be emotional because when your kids are involved, it creates emotion. And I get that. I think another reason why people kept saying you'd be great for this because you haven't put your kids in CCSD. You don't have to be tied to their outcomes and their outcomes alone. You don't have an emotional component. So I got this one guy who constantly telling me that, I got no skin in the game, and I said I'd burn it all down, and he's like, yeah, you burn it all down because you don't have anyone in CCSD. I'm like, well, no, that's not actually true. I would, just like I would burn down my own school. When I say that, obviously it's a figure of speech. It's not burn down the school or the establishment that allows kids to learn. It's burn down the group, the individuals that sit on top of that are potentially directing it in a path that is not akin to the hopes and dreams of the parents in Cherokee County. That's what I'm talking about. So, lose accreditation? Never. That's not at all what would be on my agenda. Press back on accrediting process? Absolutely. Spend my own time down at state legislator? Yeah, absolutely. Spend my time on the phone? Absolutely. Spend my time in Washington? If there's an opportunity, yes. What's my motivation? 4 years, right the ship, and then out. I'm not. I don't think there's a need for me long term. I do think there's a need for me short term. Now, if 4 wasn't enough, then maybe 8. I don't know. For a lot of people who have kids in school, if your kids are out in 4, you probably don't care. And I am so tied into Cherokee County with my business that I care. I care for the next 40 years. I care because I see my kids taking this over after I'm gone. So there's no once my kids are out, well, whatever happens, happens. No, not at all. So anyways, for that reason, I just, so I got attacked not too long ago by someone on, I think, in a camp with someone I'm running against who I think we are pretty similar in many ways, but also very dissimilar in some other ways. And so, I look at that and that person in that camp. Now, I think 4 people liked it, so it's not like it got a lot of reach. But still, their point was, how long until me becomes one of them, meaning someone who just rolls over for political gain because he's a developer. So I saw that, and the first thing I thought was, man, that's a direct assault on my integrity. It's going more than 7 minutes, guys. But that's, I'll actually start the clock right away, see if I go 14. But that's an assault on my integrity, for sure. On my character, on my ethics. And so, I don't know you, but I can say this. If I ever do meet you now, you just got into the category of the people who say it's just business. And so I absolutely have no desire to ever listen to your opinion on anything outside of, should I gain this position in the public realm, then as a constituent, I would listen to you. But outside of that, not at all. And that's what I can't stand. And I know I've had people who are following me who are on the left. I probably had like a dozen who are telling me that, I don't agree with you, but I like you. Like, well, good. I would hope, because I would feel as though the only way I would ever encourage you to look into some of the things I'm saying would be if we could find common ground that you would then build from. And I would hope that would start with a relationship, and a relationship is like. I mean, think about it. I have lots of people out here who I know and love to see and hang out with who do not share the political beliefs that I have, which that's fine. In the end, they treat me like a human being that they love and respect, and I treat them the same. And that's critical. And then I see people like inside of this, all right Republican side, and they're all just cutthroat in this moment because of something. And I really don't think they have anything to gain greater with their candidate than with me, or to lose more with me than their candidate. Maybe they really think there is a big deal there, but I don't think so. I think there's another reason. So that said, I just want to say, in this, I feel like it's the same thing when you go to the next step. Whoever makes it to office, are you someone who would cover stuff up? Would you lie and then say you didn't? Would you then lie further? Would you hide things? I don't know. It concerns me. So I don't want anyone who says they're in my camp, because I really don't have anyone. I've got a campaign manager who didn't know me until I started running, and that's kind of it. Otherwise, there are people around me. I don't have running mates. I'm not tied to anyone. I have people who I like, and I know some people think that I was puppeted into this thing. No, not at all. Part of the reason why I have funded my campaign 100% myself and haven't taken a penny from anyone else is because I want to make sure that that's a clear thing, all the way around, that there's no way that I'm even looked at as being someone who has, some kind of puppet master on top of me, where I think the people I'm competing against in my district have. but I don't know that they have anyone controlling them. I'm not saying that. That would be me, saying, oh, it's just business. And I'm not about to say that. I'm just saying they've taken money. So reason why I'm not doing it is not because I'm saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I don't want anyone to be able to say that, about me. I hope that makes sense. So, and then, it's funny, like, so I've been in development, on and off since '07. Not a good time to get started. And pretty steady for the last 7 years. And I'll tell you, it's really interesting. Actually, the last 8 years. It's interesting because I don't really know how I would ever go about gaining anything politically for development through Board of Education. Like, I don't even see how that would be possible if I was a sly, conniving, hand kind of guy. I just don't even think that's possible. But that said, I've done 2 variances that I've had to go through kind of a process for. That was a political process here for Adair Park in Woodstock. Other than that, I've never rezoned anything. Now, I do have something in Alpharetta that's being rezoned right now, first time. But that actually, the rezoning part of it was completely in line with the plan for the city. So the one next to us is, the one across the street is. It's just moving along, Main Street in Alpharetta. So, and then actually every single, the number one thing that I do, because I am the guy who does this, is I go and talk to the residents. And I have an open opportunity. You want to talk? Come talk to me. I would like to talk about my plan. And they're actually the number one proponents of what we're doing are the residents who live right next to us. They literally showed up in force to our planning commission meeting 2 weeks ago on a Thursday night in Alpharetta. So anyways, that said, I just hope that, in the end, I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know that I'm going to win. I hope you'll go out and vote on May 24th. I hope I could win. But if I don't, you know what? I hope that what I've said is enough to have served a purpose. I hope that what I've done is enough to have served a purpose, that God and people would use what I've stood for in this moment and it would do something. And I'm not saying that losing this primary, I would just slink quietly into the background now, because I do see this as something that I care more about now. I just didn't realize how important it was to the longevity of this county until I dug in. And so now, you're probably not going to see me just go away. If things start going the right direction, then I'll go away. But, I love what's been happening in this town. I've been in Woodstock for 21 years in my practice and developments and property for 8 years now, and then moved into downtown Woodstock just 2 years ago. So I'm here. I'm around. As a matter of fact, if you guys in the area, you see the little Vespa. My wife got me a Vespa for my 50th birthday, which just happened. And it's like kind of a Atlanta United looking thing. I'm a big Atlanta United fan, So she got me this kind of gray, charcoal, black, red Vespa. I'm going to get some Atlanta United stuff put on the side of it too, I think. But if you see it, if you hate my guts, run me over. Please don't. If you like me, beep and wave. And if you're indifferent, you can just say, oh, that's probably that Dr. Eric guy. Until, hopefully, everyone else gets Vespas too, because it sure makes parking a whole lot easier. All right. May 24th is the vote. I got 2 more podcasts coming right up after this one. This was 14. Those are probably both going to be 14 each as well, so I'll hopefully label these correct. God bless you all. And hey, and if you don't believe in God, I'm not going to try to mash it down your throats. Just know that. I conduct myself the way I believe my God would have me conduct myself. And I hope that appeals to you, even if you're an atheist, because what that means is love, respect. All men are created equal, women included in that. So that's what I try to rule my day and therefore my thoughts with. All right. God bless you who want to be blessed.